After what seemed like months of waiting and dodging spoilers on the internet, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle Movie 1 Akaza's Return has finally been released to the global anime community, and I went to go see it on its opening day, which was September 12th as of me recording this video. And to say this movie was incredible would be doing a huge disservice to what Ufotable have created here. This movie blew me away and sets a precedent for the other movies to come, because if you weren't aware, Infinity Castle is part 1 of a movie trilogy that will conclude one of the most celebrated sagas in anime history. So let's talk about this amazing movie. Now I'm going to keep this review as spoiler free as I can, because I don't want to rob you of the incredible experience you will have watching this movie for yourself in the theatre, witnessing the absolute masterpiece that this movie is. So let's begin. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle picks up immediately with the final episode of the Hashira training arc ended. Kaguya Ubuyashiki is dead, after blowing himself to pieces in a failed attempt to kill Muzan. As the Hashiras and Tanjiro race to kill Muzan before he can recover, Muzan drops him into the Infinity Castle, the nexus of the demons. Now, separated from each other and completely surrounded and outnumbered by the enemy, Tanjiro and the other Hashiras must fight their way through the enemy stronghold to finally put an end to this human versus demon war that has been raging for over 1,000 years. It's a very simple story, but that's what Demon Slayer does best in my opinion, taking a simple story and elevating it with incredible music, sound design and animation. Speaking of which, the overall presentation in this movie is immaculate. Let's start with the audio, which is treat for your ears. Swords make a metallic thud when they hit the ground, and you get that satisfying clang when they strike demon flesh. Blood realistically splatters across the walls and floors of the Infinity Castle, and the studio really nailed the audio with this constantly moving and shifting battlefield that is the Infinity Castle. The floors and walls moving and clicking into place help to sell visuals of a place that obeys every command of its master Muzan. And that music, that fucking music, every track sounds amazing to listen to. Ufotable have tweaked the score in such a way that it responds to whatever emotion you feel as you're watching. During combat, I'm hearing electronica and an orchestra fused together to create tracks that sound so good to listen to. Not to mention, Akaza's theme in this movie wouldn't sound out of place in a Mick Gordon score. Whatever complaints you may have had about Demon Slayer's animation in the past will get wiped away by the animation in this movie, which looks amazing, and it's just such a visual feast. I'm really using that phrase because it's such a cliche, but honestly, it's the best way I can describe the visuals in this movie. I was stunned so often at what's happening on screen, and I think the studio have really outdone themselves, packing so much detail into each frame. This will set the standard of how good an anime can look. Ufotable have set a precedent with Demon Slayer, and the craziest thing is, this is just the first movie 1 of 3. So if this one looks good now, you can just imagine how amazing the next two are going to look. Moving on, there are 3 major fights that this movie will focus on: Shinobu vs Doma, Zenitsu vs Upper Moon 6 Kaigaku, and the showstopper, Gyu and Tanjiro vs Akaza. The movie does a good job of dedicating enough of its screen time to showcasing these 3 major battles and giving them the spotlight they deserve. Each one is animated so well. Ufotable gave ample screen time to the characters in this movie, not just to the Hashiras but to the demons too. This helps us to understand them better, their motivations, what drives them, and importantly, allows the characters to show us what they can really do when faced with overwhelming evil. And one particular character's backstory was just so captivating, it made one girl in my movie theatre cry, and it does take up a large chunk of the final act of the movie. If you know, then you know. Some people may take issue with the fact that flashbacks do take up a significant portion of the 2-hour 30-minute runtime, but if you've seen Demon Slayer in the past, flashbacks aren't anything new for this series, and I welcomed these flashbacks in this movie, which helped to shed some light on what made these characters do what they do. The hype for Demon Slayer is at levels never seen before. I really enjoyed my time with this movie. Even though it was almost 3 hours long, it certainly didn't feel like it. I will definitely go and see it again. This movie has become the benchmark that all future shonen anime should aspire to reach in terms of its incredible production value and presentation. Ufotable have done an amazing job with this movie, and I cannot wait for the next movie if the final scene of this movie is setting up what I think it is. Let me know your thoughts on the movie if you've seen it. Thank you for watching the video. Take care.